Hey guys, John here with a silver update. So, quite a few times I've been asked what I think about this Hong Kong Mercantile Exchange that's opened up that allows silver futures to be traded in gold as well. Look, the first time I heard of it, obviously, I wasn't actually that impressed because I thought, well, it sounds much like the COMEX or the London Metals Exchange. It's just another place for the paper game to continue and not really something that is, really devastatingly earth-shattering for the physical silver market, which is obviously where we're and why we're invested. Um, I mean, I didn't think of it necessarily as a bad thing, but I just didn't think it was worth all the hoo-ha that we got from it. Mainly because it's just another paper exchange. Sure, it may open up some demand for silver, but then I was thinking, the Chinese people are not dissimilar. They do have an awareness of gold and silver. In fact, one of the most oldest civilizations on the planet, and they're very much, you know, silver and gold are very much part of their psyche as a collective, society. So it's not something that I think is new to them in terms of the possibility of investing in something like gold and silver. Silver, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You'd have to sort of ask them. But um, you know, I think if people there are interested in investing in gold and silver, or let's put it another way, protecting their wealth, then gold and silver as a means to do that is something that they're able to do anyhow, and in fact they're able to do it in a physical market. And in fact we've seen governments sponsored TV slots where they've talked about investing in gold and silver. So that's a physical market. You're able to buy physical gold and silver bullion now in China, the average man. So uh, whereas once before it was physical, this mercantile exchange now opens it up to a paper, um, method of investing. So, you know, I know the figures were sort of touted that if 1 billion people in China, if just 1% of them buy one of the 1,000 troy ounce contracts, then that's a huge demand for physical. Obviously, that would be, and if that happens, then that's fantastic. I just don't know whether the reality of the situation is, whether they will do that more than what they either have done already, because they're well aware of gold and silver, and definitely will purchase the hard assets in times past. And secondly, I think those who mainly will be playing on these exchanges um, will be people who were able to trade it on other exchanges at other times. So I mean, I don't know much about the legalities in China, whether they're allowed to trade on the COMEX and all that sort of stuff. I'm assuming they are, and if someone can let me know anything different, please do in the comments below. But I'm assuming they can trade. I do know that, like, I think, well, China is now a net importer of silver. I know that for a fact, and mainly to do with their industrial applications of silver. I think the numbers are about 70% of all their imported silver goes right into the industrial application side of silver. I'm not sure what the internal domestic silver production, how that's broken down. I presume, and it's just a guess, that that's also 70%, just because of their international demand. So um, silver is very much, in terms of China at least, an industrial metal so far. Now, whether that changes or not, that remains to be seen, and let's hope it does. But I think gold, first and foremost, for obvious reasons, is, I guess, first in their collective psyche of what to use to protect against, debauchements of currencies. But I mean, at the end of the day, this game is heating up. I mean, we've come a long way in this 2.5 years on YouTube, just in this channel and other channels as well. And I guess 2.5 years ago, we're talking about the possibility of a currency crisis. Now we're talking about how bad is it going to be. The eurozone is weak at the knees. I mean, Greece, solved their debt problem by issuing more debt, and this thing is just piling up on top of itself, to a point where just the question is, how bad is it going to get? Not will it happen? So I'm going to really start focusing on that currency crisis issue that I guess, founded this channel and was the reason why I started this channel, because that is now really where my focus is going to be in timing that, in understanding how the mechanics and the flow of money will work at that point in time. You know, you've got euro crisis, you've got dollar debt issues. Um, we're now entering that time where it pays to be fully attentive in these markets. So that's something I'm going to be. Is this exchange a good thing? Look, it's probably not a bad thing. I guess that's the way I can answer that question. I mean, if it does open more doors for physical silver to get into the hands of the average Joe, then it's not a bad thing. Whether it will do that to the extent that everyone is hoping that it will, I mean, it's ironic that the people who are sort of, you know, placarding this exchange as like the next great thing for physical gold and silver are the same ones bagging the London Metal Exchange and the COMEX. Now, I don't know how different this one will end up operating, but from all intents and purposes so far, it just seems like another way to exchange paper. So I'm not that excited for that reason. Will it mean that physical silver gets delivered to people that otherwise wouldn't have been able to buy that? Probably not. I think they would have been able to buy it. But also, don't forget too, China's a funny market. It's not something, you know, it's I guess the market in China is sheltered. We don't really get much of the impact of the movement of the metals in China because it's not on the markets that we trade and that our spot prices are denominated in. The movement of metal sort of domestically in China doesn't affect the spot price so much unless, of course, they import from these and purchase it from these international markets, which are leveraged to the price of silver. So I don't know how much this will end up affecting the price of gold and silver. If it really sort of surprises me and has an effect of opening people's minds to the possibility of investing in silver, then of course it's going to have a huge effect. Whether it'll do that, I don't know. Mainly because you know, I think the Chinese people are well aware of that possibility, and those who were concerned about that over the previous 2 years have already either protected themselves or in the process of doing that through gold and silver, and they know about it and they can buy physical. And B, if it was something that you're interested in trading or using these future products, these paper products to invest in gold and silver, then I don't know how much you couldn't have done that already in the international market. So it just seems like another way to do the same thing to me. But, you know, I think there will be some interest, and I'm sure it's not going to have a negative effect on what is already happening. So for that, it's a good thing. So yeah, that's really my thoughts. It's not like I'm really so happy that this has come out for gold and silver. It's not like the best thing that's ever happened, but you know, it's not the worst thing, is it? And I guess it's better than nothing. So I guess that's my sentiments. But really, where I'm going now with my channel, I'm going in two directions. One I can't talk about at the moment. The other is I'm really going to start focusing on this currency situation that we're in, because that to me is the hot topic to talk about. That's going to have a much bigger effect than this mercantile exchange can ever dream of having on the gold and silver market. So, you know, that's where I'm going to focus on, and I think that's where probably most of your interest is anyhow, in just how this currency crisis that we've been talking about for 2.5 years now starts to play out. So that's it from me, guys. I will talk to you soon.